Carved into the red sandstone of Lingyun Mountain in the Sichuan province of China, gazing over the confluence of 3 rivers, the Leshan Giant Buddha is a sight like no other. Standing at a colossal 71 meters, that's 233 feet tall, it is, to this day, the largest and tallest stone Buddha statue in the world. Perhaps even more impressively, it was built between 713 and 803 CE during the Tang Dynasty, and it is by far the tallest pre-modern statue in the world. For comparison, the Colossus of Rhodes stood at a height of 33 meters or 108 feet. Again, this is 71 meters tall. So comparing it to a building, it is about the same height as the Aztec Pyramid of the Sun, which really surprised me. It's obviously less massive, but the same height. Even today, it ranks as the 21st tallest statue in the world, coming in about 20 meters shy of the Statue of Liberty. This location was a holy site and was occupied by Buddhist monks since at least the 1st century CE. Mount Imei and Lingyun had some of the earliest Chinese Buddhist temples, and it's credited with being a significant site for the spread of Buddhism in China. In 723 CE, the construction of the giant Buddha begins after 10 years of planning, led by a Buddhist monk named Hai Tong. I found very interesting that this was the same decade as the founding of the city of Prague, the city of Kathmandu, and the Papal States. So the 720s, there was really a lot going on. So this monk, Hai Tong, he believed that this process of worship that was creating this massive statue would lead the Buddha to help calm the turbulent waters that would sink boats traveling down the river. He died during the process, and it ran into many issues with finding a workforce and funding to be able to actually pull it off. However, over the next 80-year period, his disciples and their disciples carried on his work. They completed it in the year 803. The entire statue is carved from the stone of the mountain, except for the ears, that were made out of wood, plastered with mud, and attached to the head. There is an anecdote that the massive construction resulted in so much stone being removed from the cliff face and deposited down into the river below that the currents were actually changed a bit by the construction of the statue, making the water theoretically more safe for passing ships and answering the monks' hopeful prayers. There is also an impressive drainage system built into the interior of the statue that still exists today. Over time, various wooden temples and structures were built, some of them covering the top of the Buddha to shield it from the elements. But through time, over and over again, almost all of these were destroyed in wars. However, there are a large amount of surviving stone statues and carvings, including a sleeping Buddha measuring at 170 meters, or 557 feet, about the length of a medium-sized container ship, and if stood upright, more than twice the height of the Leshan Giant Buddha. With a ticketed entrance to visitors, there is also a massive grotto system known as the 10,000 Buddha Cave. As you might expect from the history, there are also hundreds of cave dwellings and tombs built and occupied by the monks and others who have lived at the site through the centuries. The Leshan Giant Buddha and the surrounding Mount Imei scenic area has been a protected site in China since 1956, and in 1996, it was selected to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This grants it international legal recognition, funding opportunities, and other benefits that led to a years-long restoration and preservation effort in the early 2000s, and maintenance that continues to the present day. According to UNESCO, the main threat to Imei is the number of tourists and pilgrims that visit the property and the development that they bring with them. The main intrusion has been a cable car, which leads to the golden summit of the mountain range and brings some 300,000 people a year to the sensitive mountain forest zone. If you do visit the Leshan Giant Buddha, it should be obvious that you shouldn't touch, disturb, or leave anything behind, so that the statue, as well as the surrounding wilderness, can be around for another 1,200 years. As I mentioned earlier, the Leshan Giant Buddha is located in the Sichuan province in southwestern China. Its provincial capital is the megacity of 20 million, Chengdu. Known for its food scene, historical sites, and futuristic amenities, many visitors make the Leshan Giant Buddha and the surrounding area a day trip or an overnight visit from Chengdu. Despite Leshan being relatively remote, there is a high-speed train to access the town from Chengdu East or South stations, covering the 140-kilometer distance in about an hour and a half. Then you would take a taxi or another bus for about 30 minutes to get to the site itself. That wraps up the video on the Leshan Giant Buddha. Many of the greatest statues around the world are of the Buddha, so I hope to cover much more in future videos. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this.